Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Worth Partnership Project, we are happy to host another insightful talk in the framework of the virtual participation of Worth in the Dutch Design Week 2020. My name is Simona Moldovan, and together with Zikri, here close to me, we welcome you all to the talk, How to Protect Your Brand Identity, delivered by the legal expert Ana Maria Stein and Professor Gaetano Grizzatti, who will talk about how to ideate and build a brand identity, how to make it a strategic asset, and how to protect it. The success story of the Worth second call winning partner, Simina Filat, or Roxana Tocaccio, is also being present. In this talk, you will gain knowledge and awareness about protection of IP rights and its importance in the design process. First of all, I would like to start with the presentation of the legal expert, Ana Maria Stein, that is an international IP lawyer with wide experience in trademarks, patents, design, competition, know-how, copyright and antitrust, with focus on fashion and startups. Ana Maria is currently partner at the Milan-based international law firm Franzosi Dal Negro Zetti. She is board member of the Licensing Executive Society and member of the Italian Copyright Group at the International Association for Protection of Intellectual Property. Ana is proudly part of the implementing consortium within the Worth Partnership Project, where she successfully advises and assists the 152 winning partnerships with professional IP support. Ana Maria, thank you for joining us today.
As creative people, I have to say that I managed our presentation jointly with Professor Grizzatti, and at the very end, we decided to start with the issue of brand identity and then to come back to the legal issue. This because we consider that it could be more easy for our audit to understand our presentation. So I will leave the floor to Professor Grizzatti, and I will share his presentation.
Ana Maria, maybe my colleague Zikri can make a short presentation of the professor, the same as we did for you, so we know about the experience.
So, good afternoon to all. First of all,
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Professor Grizzatti. So we are happy to having you with us today. For the audience, please let me introduce Professor Grizzatti, who is founder of and CEO of Univisual, a brand consulting studio based in Milan. Univisual is a reference point for the culture and brand identity in Italy. Professor Grizzatti has revolutionized the technical and cultural paradigms in the approach to the discipline. He is surveyor of the court of Milan in the category of trademarks. Professor Grizzatti is a professor and speaker since 1988 on topics related to branding. He delivers speeches and seminars at conferences and universities. He's member of the Order of Journalists. Professor Grizzatti has written articles for the management, marketing, and communication magazines in Italy. He's also author of the bestsellers Brand Identity Kit, the first Italian book in brand identity in Italy. We have with us Simina Filat, who is a freelance accessories designer and fashion creator of Simina Filat design brand, inspired by the promotion of a new concept for Romanian market. Simina was awarded by Worth within the second round of project to further develop the concept called Roomy. Roomy is a range of modular furniture with a design that can be combined to form room dividers, home decor panels, cabinets, or even garments, bags, and allows a fast and easy packing. Simina Filat will share her experience with Worth as her project becomes a success case about how to ideate, build, and protect brand identity. So please join us, warmly welcome Ana Maria, Professor Grisanti, and Simina Filat to this conference. So Professor Grisanti, feel free to take the virtual stage now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. Good afternoon to all. And first of all, excuse me for my terrible English. So I asked Anna to help me. It's in front of me. She's in front of me to help me for some answer, some questions you may have. So brand identity is the topic of this this speech. Okay, help me, Anna, to go to the next slide. And talking about brand identity like an asset for business and for design too. The three pillars to design a trademark. Creativity and graphics are not enough to design a logo today. It's not, logo must be compliant to the business, first of all, and correct to evoke and represent a brand. And finally, original and legally protectable. You can, first of all, the meaning of these two terms, logo and brand. Everyone, of course, knows that brand does not mean logo, because, I'm sorry, because the logo is the brand code, the interlinguistics brand code. If you have not defined what is a brand, it's not too possible to create a logo in this sequence. Okay. The brand is a topic that we're talking about in the third millennium, probably more in total market of the world, because business is changing. Today, it's not enough to have a good product, offer a good services. It's normal for probably all the companies. Okay. So we have a new paradigm. It's important evolve the mentality of a business strategy, because the customer, the consumer, does not understand why he should prefer a product over that of a competitor. He does not see the difference. What's the difference of a product with another competitor? Okay. So this difference probably is about a brand, and brand does not act in a universal reality, but in the parallel dimension of a perception. We are no longer in virtual reality, but any people have our singular reality probably. Okay. Oh, I apologize if I mentioned the great philosophers, but in this matches probably is not a battle between the product and a brand, but a constant war between similar products. Products is about the function, the quality, design to the product, performance, price. And when we think about a brand, the centrality of the soul, the ideas, the sentiments too, probably define the difference with two similar products. You should never try to sell a brand. I don't know, a company says, buy this brand because it's efficient. Yeah, but the brand is not the product. It's the process of communication that changes. It's evolution of an approach for my commercial strategy. So in these changes, in communication changes, normal communication tools and actions are like a pressing. Company press us to convince that the product is the best of the market. So we can change, and the strength of a business strategy, brand-based, is a virtuous reverse communication process. The brand will draw its audience to itself. This is the great change, and it's not so easy for the companies understand how to create this new business process for your communications. Okay. So I give you a very brief definition of a brand, because everyone have a personal opinion about what is a brand. And I think that this definition we can think about every entity which presiding a mental territory. I call so a mental territory of a person for evoke and not for create information beyond the product and the services. In this slide, we can see a playful metaphor to explain how the role of a brand changed over the time. 5,000 years ago, we can see probably some logos to impress on, I don't know, a brick for the Egyptian pyramids, for example. So identify a property is for humans a human's need. And in the last century, for a great jump in the time after the Industrial Revolution, we can see that trademark become a guarantee seal, because make difference between two products, between a product without a logo and a product with a logo. And this simply benchmark, I don't know, we can elevate the trademark like a guarantee. But now, in our years and in our times, the role of a brand cannot only identify a property and to be a guarantee seal, is in all aspects, for all people in the world. So brand now represent a real way of being and thinking. It's a great evolution for the company to define our profile over beyond the products, beyond what the company do. So okay, the difference of primitive brands and modern brands is so definition this benchmark to in the time. It's important because for the best legal protection of a brand, the creative and design phase is fundamental. For example, it's better to avoid the simple graphic marks and subjects that depict and figure the product. So important this when you design, when you create a logo, not drawing a simple sign, but tend to describe the market, the product. But it's important to create I don't know, a conceptual icon about not what this product do, but probably, I don't know, how the company make this product, the quality about your personality. Another issue is important to understand the branding process is understand the difference for the terms brand identity and brand image, identity and image. We can design an identity, but we can't design an image. The image is not studied, but is what remains in the people's heads. This is important because when we understand the difference to identity and image, the designers can to create a brand identity about what we want that our people, our target, what we want thinking about our brand. Emotional indifference, the principal two drivers to create a brand. You can see the difference to probably the four principal dimension or status for many trademark present in the world. I don't know, when a trademark, when a brand is a known brand, for example, is probably like a zombie in the market because this brand don't evoke an emotion and there isn't no difference between the competitors. And it's important to thinking a strategy to per raggiungere, come si dice, to reach to be a strong brand. And after Anna Maria talking about what is a strong brand, in a brief issues, we can say that a strong brand is when you can create an iconic approach beyond the product. This slide is probably important to the graphic designer when conceive a logo, and each of the 7 elements, these 7 elements of a brand mark must be assigned a communication task to increase the communicative power of a logo. So we have 7 elements in a unique brand mark, but if we can assign a specific communication task for any singular of these elements, the final result is a brand mark with a great powerful. Here we can see a study for analyze the kind of a graphic symbol. In these 4 kinds, we can immediately understand that drawing, create, design an icon mark. So how I call it icon mark, like a symbol that's going beyond a simple sign, like, for example, an elementary mark or a generic mark. So, of course, we recognize the logo of the Rolex, okay? It's a very notorious brand, and probably is the first company that use a crown for a symbol for our company, but probably in the same sector is very difficult to decide with my company, another competitor company use a crown like a symbol with another drawing, for example, but the crown for of the Rolex are precede the market and the collective imaginary. So I am finished, and a little gift for you, and with geometry of design. So I thank you for your attention, and ciao to all. Prendi tu.
Okay. Can you mute? Okay. So, and after this presentation of okay, so after this presentation of Professor Grizzanti, I will be starting another discussion, and this discussion is related to the legal issue of a trademark. So once you have identified your brand image, create your logo, and you have performed a deep study, as Professor Grizzanti said. The second step is to get protection on your trademark. So I will be starting now with my presentation. So this was the gift by Professor Grizzanti, and now it's I'm starting with my presentation. So trademark and legal topics. This is the main issue. What about intellectual property rights? It's the result of ideas. Ideas by themselves cannot be protected. I always say to my clients, to my designer, I always teach in this underworld project. But if you can embody your idea by recording, writing down, describing, then they can become protectable. And the main issue is to understand how to protect your idea. In this case, how to protect your trademark. What is a registered trademark? It's something you obtain through a registration. You can file a registration at a national level of your country, at European level, before the WIPO, and then you can also file international registration. So what the trademark registration is conferring the exclusive right to use and to control your trademark. This despite the passing of time, because you can renew your registration for a trademark at national level, European level, or international one for 10 years and we have no limitation. This is a specific characteristic of trademark registration. In fact, patents, for example, last in 20 years, and then technologies become for common availability. So another issue, you can also use your sign without registration, but against people copying your sign, if you have a registration, you have what we call a title, a registered title, such as this house is mine, this is the contract, which proves that the house is mine. This is my trademark, this is the registration, which proves that the registration is mine. On the other hand, if you use a trademark, you can apply only for unfair competition or slavish imitation. You can say, okay, this bad guy is copying me. He's copying me and is imitating my logo. But you have to prove that the logo is yours until what time is yours. So from a litigation perspective, it's very difficult. Moreover, only in Italy, used signs are somehow compared to trademark, to register a trademark, not in Europe. So the legal perspective is totally different. And so this is a good point, and it's a good point to register your trademark. So what is a trademark in the legal definition? The initial legal definition said a sign capable of being reproduced in the register in a clear, precise, self-contained, and easily accessible way. And since the law is not going on pair to evolution, we usually say that the trademark distinguishes the goals and service of one undertaking. This is somehow an old concept. Why? Because there's been an evolution, as Professor Grisanti said, there's been an evolution through the years of what is a trademark, what is a brand, and of course, what is a registered trademark. At the very beginning, people started registering words. So your signature, the simple name of a product, the simple name of a company. Then they started registering the logo, combining the logo with a word, and so there was an evolution. And then we understood that also a color can recollect and create a specific link between the company and its activity and its product. So some colors can be registered if they have distinctive character. Another evolution, the shape of the product. We started with a single shape and we arrive through three-dimensional shape. We have three-dimensional trademarks. Of course, the product and the new frontier are trademarks for sound. We have already in the US. Everybody knows the jingle of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and this is a trademark. And in the future, or maybe in the very next future, we will have also taste and smell trademarks. Not for the moment in Europe, but we have them in the US. In the US, there are some registration for cocoa oil, for getting tanned or something like this. They get a registration. So this is a totally open frontier. So now let's come from practical example for trademarks, very, very well famous trademarks related to a pattern. And you see the Burberry pattern related to a product. You see the well-known chocolate product, very well known. This is an iconic object, which is actually also a trademark for the shape. This is a bag from Hermes. And here we have three colors. You remember Kiwi? This is a trademark. Here we have the iconic Vespa. And Vespa is not only protected as a trademark like Vespa, but also the product has been recognized by an Italian court as a valid and enforceable trademark. And then we have something more particular, but very well known, the Red Soul of Louboutin. This is a battle all over the world regarding the possibility to register the Red Soul or not. And there are contrasting decisions, mostly in Europe, Asian countries, and US. But anyway, it's more or less, I would say more, it's considered a valid trademark. And this is a very recent issue. Everybody knows, probably you have been learning through newspaper and magazines that Apple's, they filed a trademark including the concept of their shops. Oh, this is totally new also for us. the concept of a shop can be considered as a distinctive element and a trademark for the company it represents. So it's totally new frontier. So when we are talking about trademarks, well, it's a very, very open field. Don't think it's something very boring and very old. It's also from the legal perspective, it's totally open. That's why remember that the trademark is not simply the logo or your name. It's something related to your company. So please consider it as a good asset of your company and start think about from the very beginning of your business. I understand that you have to invest money and time, but you will be happy for doing that in the future. So what about a trademark lacking of distinctiveness? A trademark which is not distinctive can be declared null and void. Of course, I've made very simple example. I mean, common word cannot be registered as a trademark. See, jeans, eco gear, thermal therapy, something like this. Mojito for drinks. Of course, this is very, very, very easy. But please note that somebody can tell you, oh, it's very easy. Don't use, you can use the word jeans, get a good graphic, and then add graphics element, and everything is solved. No, this is not the point. This is not the point. In any case, I will come back to this issue. It's very important to start with a very strong trademark, and we will see why a little bit later. Also, regarding the possible shape of a product, look at this example. It's very simple. This is a bottle for lubricant. Unless this bottle is for lubricant, and it's very, 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 very common, it can become a trademark. It's very, very, very general. On the other hand, a strange shape of a bottle for water or for whatever, this can become a trademark. So, issue of protection, very, very important. I think I have already explained. What I would like to point out is the risk of losing protection. I mean, you cannot say, okay, I have registered my trademark and the issue is solved. I am fully protected. No, because if you don't use the trademark for those services or products within 5 years from the registration, or for a period of 5 years without interruption, somebody can claim that you are lost protection. The reason of this rule is to avoid abuse of protection. I mean, registering a lot of trademark, not for using them, but to stop other people from using them. The other issue is that you have registered your wonderful trademark, but if it is not novel or not distinctive, somebody can come and say, yeah, I would like to use this trademark too. I think this is not valid. You can file an action for a declaration of invalidity, and you will be losing your trademark. So, very important, please consider deeply the condition for getting a registration. condition for getting a registration are novelty, distinctiveness, and above all, the fact that nobody else is using the proposed trademark for the same product or services. Otherwise, you can come and say, well, it's not novel because it's me. I've been using this from about 10 years, 2 years, or something like this. So what I always suggest is to make a prior search. Now, at European level, we have a wonderful tool provided by the WIPO, and you can manage by yourself, because the Office for Community Trademark is providing very simple and easy tool. Everything is online to make a quick search and see what have been already registered, or if there is something very similar. So what are not registerable as trademark is a list. I don't want to lose time in thinking about it. The main issue, apart from considering the success of a trademark, of a company, of a product, or the notoriety of a brand or of a trademark, all these may come only in the future. If you are at the very beginning, it's very important to start with a strong trademark. And here, the European Court of Justice is saying, of course, with legal word, what is the definition of a strong term. Lines, you will see that there are some words which have been already used in the presentation by Professor Grizzanti. Take into account the relevant element of the case, in particular the intrinsic qualities of the mark. So, intrinsic, not only aesthetically. Look, this is the European Court of Justice. Of course, they are using legal words, but through the lines, the concept they are explaining is very similar teaching of Professor Grizzanti, a descriptive element, taking the relevant elements of the case, in particular intrinsic qualities. So distinguishing from the other companies. These are words very important, very important. Few examples. What is a strong trademark beyond its notoriety? All these trademarks exist from a long time, and they have grown up and up. But still from the very beginning, they were to be considered as strong trademarks because they are fantasy trademarks. I mean, they were Fanta for a drink, Diesel for clothing. Total different situation for the case of using Diesel, also with a graphic for fuel, for oil. Totally different outcome. Nokia, it's a fancy sign for mobile. Rolex, which has been already described by Professor Grizzanti, Canon for cameras, and Strega. Strega means witch in Italian. What they did, they took a common use word, which, but for alcoholic drinks. So totally distant field. Moreover, what they did is to create a specific graphic, very distinctive. So, different example. Now I'm passing to a case regarding weak trademarks. Weak trademarks. What are the risks? You're getting trademarks, it's registered. If it is a little bit distinctive, you can pass the examination, and the trademark can be granted and nobody can contest it. But in any case, you have a problem. You have a limited protection against people copying you. Look at these examples. American Consumer Credit Counseling. Well, it's a phrase with some red lines. Somebody can come and use the same words. Not all, but most part of them. American Consumer Credit, and put a different logo nearby. There was a case this is a very old case in the US, and action for infringement was rejected, although the first trademark which was registered was very, very, very well known and very, very, very famous. The second one was the sign accused for infringement, and no way, both existing both existing together. A shampoo, for a shampoo, it's not so clear, but the trademark was a stylized number 450, and 50 was replied in the contexted product. No chance. Both coexisting in the market. So just to show you that it's very important from the very beginning to study and make a concept of your brand, and then if you do a good job, you will not have problem in registering. I understand that I'm taking so much time. Thank you very much, and sorry for a long presentation. I will leave to Simina Filat.
Hello. Thank you, Anna. I will have now our story. First of all, I'm Roxana. I'm from Simina Filat, and speaking about our story about trademark registration. As we said before, under World Partnership Project in 2019, we received support from a legal perspective and advice on how to protect our IPRs. So we started to think about how to do that and how can we deal with this. And the first step was to send, of course, Anna an email trying to get advice and clarity on what path to choose, if we choose to go for a trademark, for a design, or a copyright. And once everything got more sense after reading the details Anna sent to us, and after visiting the European Union International Property Office, we decided that the best option for us was to file for a trademark registration for Simina Filat brand. So we got some more questions for Anna about what class to choose, and she had a very good input here, making us think strategic. To give us a short example, first of all, she asked us, okay, what are your plans? Think about your business strategy and how you will develop your business and your product in the future. And that made us think, because we only wanted to choose class 18. That was our main activity, the leather product goods. But after Anna's question, we decided to go for class 18 and also for class 20, which was the furniture class, since we had some ideas and some future plans that include some furniture part design. So you see how important it is to have someone specialized and can offer you good advice and some guidelines in order for you to make the best decision. And this is what Anna did for us. And to give you some dates as an example, on February 6th, we completed the online application on the European Union International Protection Office website. And the application was to be published in 1 month and another 3 months for possible opposition by third entities. But we were lucky we didn't get that one. And the final step was to get the trademark registration certificate. And on May 22nd, we got the registration certificate. So you see, in the end, it only took us 3 days for reading and understanding everything, asking and receiving answers and guidelines from Anna, and only through email exchange. We didn't meet personal, only by email and by phone. And after these 3 days, we had the online application done and we paid the fee and we got the registration. So it was that easy, and it was an important step for us. And now that we protected Semina-Filat brand, because it's our main brand, we are planning to protect also Rumi as a next step. And I'm sure it will be as easy as it was for Semina-Filat, especially now that we did that once. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for this very nice session with very interesting insights. Let's see if now we have some answers and questions from our listeners. So let me just check our YouTube channel, where I kindly invite our listeners to put questions. At the moment, I do not see any questions. Maybe somebody wants to add some topics on the list, or
so from our hand here, Professor Grizzanti and I, not specific additional issue. Of course, we are all available for further queries or information, and if you wish to contact us, of course, at the very end of our presentation, you will find out our contacts. And please, really, you know, I'm a lawyer, and all the people are saying, okay, it's lawyer, she doesn't understand, lawyers are in another world. But please consider that intellectual property law is not in the cloud, it's in the real life of each designer, of each company, of each entrepreneur. So really care for that and think about the words of Professor Grizzanti. They are very, very, very important teaching. And there is explanation how to build a brand. It's very important, because if you do it from the very beginning, you have a very good tool for your company, for your business, and it will be very easy when it will be the time for filing the registration and the trademark, and so you will not have to come back to me or to an IP lawyer. You will be able to do by yourself, and this is the main teaching from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anna. And I don't know if I could give the speech to somebody else in the meeting, if you would have some final comments or final recommendations.
So I think thank you for and excuse me for my English, but it's very difficult for me because my research is about the Italian market and talking about the paradigm of branding and for identity design, because first of all I am an identity designer that and evolve how to design issues can applied for the business identity. So in so few minutes is not possible, of course, to explain all the problem about the design and development an identity system. But I hope that this brief collection, this brief collection of techniques is useful for your work.
Thank you very much for your kind words. I don't know, Roxana, if you would like to have a final message for our listeners.
As Anna said, it's very, very important to protect your brand, and it was a lesson for us. And it took us 10 years to do that, so a long time, but it's very, very important because it's a world when everybody wants to do something and everybody can copy you. So in order to avoid that, at least try to avoid that. It's better to try and register, even though it costs you something. It's not for free, but it's worth the investment. And Anna, I will for sure send you another email for the next trademark. And thank you very much again for your help. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the recommendation. It was a pleasure having you all here in this insightful live stream. Thank you for your participation, and good luck in the future.